Jai Hind, everyone, welcome back to the Joe Squad. We'll be going with the episode 12 of What's Up This Week. So let's start. I hope everyone can see this. So we have episode 12. We'll start with November 30th, 2024. Put this here. The short is good to know. GDP growth hits 5.4 in quarter 2, which has fallen down from 6.7% in quarter 1 to 5.8 from 5.8% from 6.8. ISRO said that the astronauts and group captains who were selected for the upcoming Axiom 4 mission to the ISS have completed initial phase of training. 14 lakh Ayushman Wave Vandana cards have been created for senior age citizens aged 70 and above under the expanded Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, ABPMJ. ABPMJ is an important acronym for all those preparing for any civil services or any defense exam or any government exam. Iran will begin enriching uranium with thousands of centrifuges at its nuclear facilities. Plastic treaty draft overlooks key issue, limiting production. Following 5 days of deliberation, nations have thrashed out a preliminary draft of the Global Plastic Treaty at the UN-led Global Plastic Treaty negotiations in Busan, South Korea. The major points of disagreement are proposal by the EU to have a global target to reduce the production of primary plastic polymers. Nations like India, China, and Saudi Arabia are in favor of avoiding any language in reference to these subjects as manufacture of polymers. Raw material for plastic is a major industry. Article read, clamour for present rule is increasing in Imphal, says Manipur's High Court from a CJ. India, UK ink pact on electric propulsion systems for Navy. They signed a statement of intent on cooperation on design and development of electric propulsion systems for the Indian Navy. This is a part of the efforts to promote indigenous development of niche technologies. December 1st, 2024. Cyclone Fengal crossed the coast near Puducherry and triggered heavy rainfall and strong winds over coastal districts in North Tamil Nadu. PM will inaugurate the Anta Lakshmi Mahotsav 2024, which was 3-day festival to showcase the cultural, social, economic fabric of the 8 northeastern states. Islamist militants entered large parts of Aleppo city in Syria during an offensive. This attack has jolted the front lines of the Syrian civil war that has been frozen since 2020. So this can be an important development later on. US approves $350 billion worth of arms and other technology to Taiwan, which includes spare parts of F-16 and radar system. Those who don't know what is going on in Taiwan and who have their SSB coming up, please read up on it because it could be a very major talk point in your GDs. Nations fear deadlock at plastic pollution talks. Nearly 200 nations are in Busan for negotiations on the deal to curb plastic pollution. Major nations are resisting over the curbs on production and phasing out chemicals known to harm human health. The draft text remains full of opposing views and contradictory language. Seed Congress resolves to promote bio-fortified crops. 13th edition of National Seed Congress resolved to work more on innovative seeds technologies for farmers in the nation. The focus will be on hybrid and bio-fortified crops, stress-tolerant varieties, and accelerated breeding cycles. They are discussed direct seeded rice and zero tillage to minimize the input cost involving in farming. The NSC also deliberated on the importance of policy frameworks in the seed sector, including a new seeds pool. December 2nd, 2024. Growth in GST slowed to 8.5% in November to 8.9% in October. With the indirect tax receipts easing a little over rupees 1.82 lakh crore from INR 1.87 lakh crore in the previous month. Prevalence of HIV epidemic in India remained at low levels over the years, with new infections in 2020 almost 44% lower than in 2010, while AIDS-related deaths declined by 79%. Syria's second largest city, Aleppo, has fallen from government control for the first time since the nation's conflict began more than a decade ago by an Islamist-dominated militant alliance. As I said, this was an important development that was going on. So, the city of Aleppo, second largest city, Aleppo. So this can be asked. Plastic treaty talks fail and split over production cuts. The Busan gathering failed to agree on a framework agreement to eliminate plastic pollution despite a week of negotiations. The chasm between the bloc of nations who saw cutting plastic production as necessary to eliminate plastic waste and those that didn't provide too wide to overcome. They have decided to resume negotiations next year under the banner of INC 5.2. What India's AI Safety Institute could do. Center working on national policy document on female labor force participation. The national policy document on female labor force participation has a focus on providing an enabling atmosphere like a viable care economy structure. An inter-ministerial team from the ministries of skill development, labor, rural development, and women and child development is working on it. According to the World Bank report in India, post-marriage female employment rates dropped by 12%. We move on to December 3rd. Short is good to know. Telangana CM A. Ravant Reddy inaugurated 33 transgender clinics, one in each of the 33 districts called as Maitri clinics. The name can be asked. They will provide free health checkups and medicines for transgenders. Nepal accepts projects worth $20 million as grant assistance from China. Hundreds of fighters from Iran backed Iraqi militias crossed into Syria overnight to help the government fight militants who seized Aleppo last week. Tehran pledged to aid the Damascus government. Deals for 26 Rafale M jets, 3 Scorpion submarines to be signed. Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh Tripathi acknowledged that the nation's second nuclear ballistic missile submarine INS Agrihat successfully launched a submarine launched ballistic missile SLBM. First of the two nuclear attack submarines to be indigenously designed and manufactured is expected to be ready by 2036 and 37. The 3 Scorpion submarines is a repeat order to Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, which is building them in partnership with Naval Group of France. India's One Nation, One Subscription Plan. Oxford studied Lord's Pragati system for the fast-tracking projects. The Pragati infrastructure monitoring system for accelerating 340 projects worth $205 billion across the nation brings about economic transformation. The acronym stands for Proactive Governance and Timely Implementation of Projects. This has brought the central and state governments to a single platform for a collaborative approach. According to RBI, the National Institute of Public Finance and Policy, for every rupee spent on infra, India sees a gain of INR 25 to INR 3.5. Sports news: Nitesh nominated for BWS Para Badminton Player of the Year award. December 4th. Around 23 lakh students will be covered in Parak Rashtriya Sarvekshan 2024 or the National Achievement Survey (NAS). The Defence Acquisition Council (DAC) approved 5 capital acquisitions proposal worth INR 21,772 crore, which includes fast water jet, fast attack craft, fast interceptor craft, and electronic warfare suit (EWS). China banned export of gallium, germanium, and antimony to the US. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol declared martial law, accusing the opposition of being anti-state forces. This is a huge development for the international sector. Dhaka summons Indian envoy after breach at Agartala missions. It was done to convey Dhaka's concerns about the breach of security at the Assistant High Commission of Bangladesh in Agartala. This is due to the protests against alleged atrocities targeting minority Hindus in Bangladesh. The relation between the two nations have been at low recently. Bank bill passes Lok Sabha, allows one account, 4 nominees. The Lok Sabha passed the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024, the first bill of the winter season. It allows bank account holders to have up to 4 nominees and also proposes changes related to redefining substantial interest for directorships. It proposes to increase the tenure of directors in cooperative banks to 10 years. It also gives freedom to banks in deciding the remuneration to be paid to statutory auditors. Reflections of Baku's NCQG outcome. US approves $1.7 billion deal for equipment of MH-60R helicopters. This deal will sell support the equipment to MH-60R multi-role helicopters under its foreign military sales program. 9 of the 24 choppers have been inducted into the armed services so far. The principal contractor will be Lockheed Martin. No surprise there. December 5th, 2024. India backs UNGA's resolution that called for the withdrawal of Israel from the Palestinian territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem. Rajya Sabha passed the Boilers Bill, replacing the Boilers Act of 1923 to ensure safety at factories where industrial boilers are used. Death toll in Lebanon in more than a year of war has reached 4,047 people, including 316 children and 790 women. Nepal and China signed a Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) cooperation framework, which intends to pave way for the implementation of the BRI projects. Rajasthan CM unveils policies to promote investment and boost economy. He unveiled 9 new policies aimed at promoting investment and speeding up the state's economic growth. The move comes ahead of the Rising Rajasthan Global Investment Summit 2024, scheduled from December 9 to December 11. Policies over the sectors such as micro, MSMEs, tourist, exports, clean energy, cluster development, one district, one product, and minerals. India's strategic focus on West Africa. Railway Bill discussion stage in Parliament. The Railways Amendment Bill 2024 is intended to amend the Railways Act of 1989. The bill opens up railways to privatization. It also intends on regulating the work hours of loco pilots. Indo-Russian venture to set up 3 depots for Vande Bharat project. The Indo-Russian joint venture Kynet, which is the manufacturer of Vande Bharat, will ensure that the factory be equipped with a state-of-art assembly line. Kynet took over the control of the rail coach factory in Latur. Kynet is set up to supply 1920 Vande Bharat sleeper coaches to Indian Railways. December 6th. The University Grants Commission (UGC) published a draft allowing enrollment of students in higher education institutions twice a year. Parliament passed the Bharatiya Vayuyan Vidhayak Bill 2024, which is expected to provide some relief to aviation personnel in their licensing process. PSLV C-59 places Proba 3 satellites into designated orbit with precision. ISRO successfully launched the Proba 3 mission of the European Space Agency aboard a PSLV rocket. The satellites will begin performing precise formation flying. They will provide the first observation of the corona in about 4 months. The 3-nation visit as a foray into summit diplomacy. Is Syria's Assad regime in danger? Bhutan and India discussed Gelefu hydel power plants. They discussed bilateral projects in the field of electricity and urban planning. They also reiterated continued collaboration on multiple fronts, including the Gelefu Mindfulness City, which we had discussed last video, I remember, and hydropower. The project is expected to strengthen the economy and investment linkages between the 2 nations. They also discussed the hydel power projects, including the 1020 megawatt Punat Sangchu second hydropower project. They also discussed cross-border projects such as the rail line as well as digital networks.
So that's it from today's video, and please follow us on every social media platform for more such good content. And Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.